Pressure.
Okay, thank you, Simon. So my name's Javina. I'm a grateful, recovered crack, heroin, whatever substance addict. Yeah, and welcome. So this is my home group, and that. It's my home group. It's where I have passion for. It's where I love. It's not where I started. I started in a different group, and I found people that were like me, not in the sense of my colour, not in the sense of what I do in my job or for a profession, not in the sense of the same area or upbringing. But the only thing that I found that I had in common, what they spoke about, is the thing that right at the end of this reading was the mental states preceding the first drink. My mental inconsistencies, the insanity I have around crack, heroin, or all mind-altering substances. I was sitting and I was thinking today, and I was like, man, people have cancelled shares, and I can get a bit resentful. That's my honesty, because I think, when you've been set free and been given the pleasure to be in this fellowship, you should be sitting here and go anywhere God places you or another member asks you to go, and that you should be compelled to do that. So in that kind of thing, I was like, oh yeah, I'll share, and I will always do that, and I only have that pleasure from the spiritual experience that the 12-step program has given me. That's the only reason why I'm here. I paused a bit, because I was just like, there's new people and that, and, what people want to find in here is, tell me it's okay and that. I don't want to be using and drinking again. My life is back crap, whatever way that looks like, and unmanageability in everyone's life is going to be different. You may still have the job, you may still have the kids, you may still have the house and the car, or you may not. You may, as a female in here, may have done some really shady things for a pipe, or for a bottle of vodka, or for some amphetamines. As a guy, you might have done that. Some might have been to jail, some might have done some horrible things in the sprees, some might be all right. Fact is, I'm looking at a room full, and I guarantee in 6 months I'm not going to see some of your faces. I ain't. I don't know if you're going to see mine. I hope that I'm there. That's the reality we're facing, because trust me, when this meeting opened, there wasn't that many people. And I saw pockets of this room being packed, excited, getting 6 months, 9 months, and relapsing. There are some people in this meeting that are members of home groups that have relapsed in here. One thing they do know is these doors are going to be open every time they come back. The sad thing is, some people ain't coming back. Do not underestimate the power of what you suffer with. That's the reality. This is not to scare you. This is not to be like, whoa, I better take the 12-step program, because trust me, fear ain't going to hold you, man. Trust me, I've been scared, I've been petrified, and then that subsidized, and I felt better. I've cried, I've been resentful, I've been angry, there's been all different things happening before, but on a certain time and a certain day, my mind's going to tell me it's okay to smoke crack. We might start off with it's okay to have a Budweiser, but in that means death or insanity. And I know that, I know that. My experience shows me that, My warning signs of how I've seen addiction in my dad's life, would show me this is not a good idea. Don't mean, though, that everyone suffers with this problem, because I have a friend that used like me, that was in the same environment as me, and had a sufficient reason, like giving birth or having a child, was pregnant at the same time, and she isn't like me. She was able to go through her pregnancy and the rest of the child's life, and she can now just have a glass of red wine. And she was a hard crack smoker, and she was using cocaine like me, and we was doing certain things within these sprees that were the same shame and remorse after, looking in a room and going, fuck man, there's a lot of guys in here, what have I just done for that pipe? But She had love for this kid, and she said, I'm not doing it again. And she had enough willpower and enough memory of her consequences that when she decided, and I said to her, listen, man, maybe we could just have a little gram in that and have a red wine when you're pregnant. It's meant to be okay. She said no, and it held her, because she remembered, Javina, this don't go down too well for me. But me, I was going to meet her one day in this area in London, and I was on the bus, no intention of using. And at a certain time in this bus ride, I was like, do you know what? I'll just be able to have a couple of lines and I'll have that glass of red wine and I'll go and do this shopping for all these baby clothes and everything because it's past the 3-month period. And I thought, do you know what? This ain't a good idea, man. Because where I'm going to get off, I normally stay there for 3 months. But I thought, do you know what? I'll be all right now. Yeah? And I went and I was there. And I was using the whole way through, yeah? I don't know if that's the cause of losing my son, yeah? But fact of the matter, that's happened. So you think even that, and people saying, well, you know, when you're using that much, could affect the baby, and you've lost your son now, yeah? That this is going to be enough, yeah? And I was crying in the hospital, you know, absolutely crying. I'm not doing this again. Yeah. And then they said, you can leave. I left. And then I thought, you know what? To relieve this pain, I'm going to go and have a freaking pipe. Now, some people say you're going through a lot of trauma, and that makes sense. But to me, it don't make sense. I didn't want to do it. I've had a firm resolution not to do it, and I'm back again smoking crack. Now, for me, I'm just going to explain to you what smoking crack looks like for me. What going into dens looks like for me. It looks like violence, being beaten up, being raped in my cases, yeah? And when I see this thing is trapping me like that, I get away. Yeah, I've gone to a women's refuge the first time, become a croupier in a casino. Nothing wrong in my life now. Do I have trauma? Cool, I'm getting counselling, it's all right, man. I'm just like, never going back there. Bad crack, yeah? And I come off this train station, yeah, coming back to the refuge, and my idea again, it's just like, bam, it just hits me. And I stop in the middle of the road and I'm saying to myself, do you know what? You can just go and get an apes, bruv. You've had time away from this, but don't smoke the crack, because the crack's bad. Just have a little few lines. It's not a few lines, is it? It's an apes. And I turn around and I go back. That leads me back into my ex. That's more violence and more rape. Yeah? Whatever your consequences are, yeah, they're not going to hold you. Because if they bloody held you, yeah, why are we sitting here today? Yeah? How many people are going into treatment? And it's not the treatment place that don't work. It's the fact that you're a different type of drinker or user from the others. Because trust me, I know a lot of people that are going into treatment, they're all right. Life's a rebuild, and they're off. They might even slightly think they're showing signs of alcoholism and that. But the hard drinkers and users look pretty like us. They're very cunning, these ones. And I say that in the politest way. It's sad because maybe you're only going to find out if you are the real addict or alcoholic, because when you get out of treatment and you're like, I'm done, my mental state's better, I physically feel better, I'm looking better, you know, I'm rebuilding my life just like Jim, reassembled the family life, got a job now, and or even volunteering. And then we find that you're walking back, and that could be a year, and you're walking back through our doors. So that means you or your efforts have not worked. Because I hear it a lot. I had 6 months. I had 3 months. I had 2 weeks. I had 3 years. The fact is, at a certain time, you didn't have enough power to stop yourself taking the thing that you've got away from. That is the fact. Yeah? Put your hand up. How many people have relapsed and had sobriety, had clean time and have relapsed? Yeah? All of us should be putting up our hands, because if you ain't, door, get on with your life. And that's polite, because you know what? It's not a bad thing, man. Listen, bro, if I came in and someone said to me, you know what, you haven't got any signs of relapse, or I'll be like, cool, thanks, I don't have to sit here. What am I sitting here for? That's okay, we want you to get on with your life. The thing why I say that is because if you don't have them signs of alcoholism, why you got to be there and have the spiritual experiences to help somebody like me? You can't help me, because you can't identify with my mental inconsistency. Yeah, everyone's scared to talk about this relapse, crux of the problem, mental state preceding it, that you will do it again. The book is very clear on that. You're going to have a firm desire, you're going to get a brief moment of sobriety, followed by still worse relapse. It's all in this book. Yeah? I listened to a share ages ago by a lady in America, and she's just like, do you know what? We've got to have courage to say this. Because what are we really talking about? Yeah, what are we really talking about? Because to me, this is life or death, yeah? I ain't on no joke thing, bro, because I don't want to see my mum at the edge of the bed saying, how am I going to help you again? It ain't happening, yeah? We're suffering with something that's going to hit you one day, man, yeah? And trust me, I'm going to be here for you. Trust me, some of these guys are going to be here for you, but let's really look at it. It says hopelessness was written on the man's face. Here's the hopelessness. None of his efforts have worked. He has no power. If I told you to pick the can up, it's got poison because you're having a bad day, yeah? Are you going to drink the Coca-Cola? If it's got poison in it, are you going to drink it? Any? No. Right. What's going to happen? Your mind's going to tell you it's poison. What is your memory going to say? It kills. Poison kills. It's going to shut down my body system. If I push it next to you, I could even get Lisa to do this. She's going to recoil. She's going to be like, no, that's poison, bad poison. But if I went Coke and vodka, if she ain't had a spiritual experience, she might even go, bad vodka, Coke, bad. But at a certain time, she's going to walk back in there and pick this up. But you know what? It's only got a little bit in it, so it'll be different this time. She's going to forget the pain and suffering of what even a month or a week ago. Yeah? What's your pain and suffering? Has it hurt your family? Has it took you away from your kids? Yeah? When you had the twist and the thought of smoking crack and that, why didn't your kids come to mind? Because of the mental inconsistency. We have a loss of the memory. Yeah? Go and ask the doctor to sort your memory out. See what he says to you. He's going to send you to Cocaine Anonymous. He ain't going to put you on the operating theatre and start twigging out your brain and that. He ain't, bro. Deadly. I'm going to say all of this, and someone, even how I'm saying it, is going to walk away in 2 weeks, hours, forget what I've said. That's what you're up against. You can come to a meeting, you're going to read the book, you're going to pray and meditate, and if you don't have against the first drink, you're going to forget Bill's story. That's shocking, isn't it? I feel like I'm giving you any hope. Good. Methods failing you. Yeah? Yeah. You see, others recovered. That's the only way I stayed. It was just like, right, you're disturbing me. You're saying I'm going to smoke crack again and I don't want to. But I'm looking at someone and they're different. Life's changed. So there must be something in this. Yeah? But here's the trap again. I'm going to do the 12 steps and I won't relapse. Yeah, if I could go to the page, it says, I think it's on page 45. Could you get it? 45 in We Agnostics? Is it 45? So I like referring to the book because we're going to hear some next crap that people are going to say. Let's go to the book that was written for us. Page 45, yeah? Our human resources as marshalled by the will were not sufficient. They failed utterly. What are your human resources? So here's my methods and human resources. My mum, my dying nan, my dad, yeah? My niece, my nephew, my brother, my baby. Women's refuges, counselling, therapy, find out your triggers. So if I find out my triggers, I'm going to be able to see them and get rid of them. Is it work for you? Ain't work for me. Here was the trigger. Bad day. So I've just got to have a really good day every hour, every day, yeah? Ain't fucking possible. Because here's what happened to me. I had an amazing day. Bought some Zara clothes, walked out, put M-Dizzle in a pint of Coke and that, thought that wasn't going to hurt me because I was eating the steak, yeah? Back to the crack then. So let's find another trigger. Rainy day. So you better go to Barbados. Barbados, it rains there. Have you ever relapsed on a sunny day? Yes. What else is the number one offender? Resentment. Anger. I'm not going to play around with them, yeah? But I've relapsed on a resentment, but I've also not. Yeah? I've been petrified and I've held on, and then I've not been petrified and I've relapsed. They're so inconsistent, it's so unpredictable. How are you going to put anything in place to stop it? Because if I said to you in 2 weeks, yeah, your life's going to be amazing, but 5 o'clock, you might relapse. What are you going to say to me? What are you going to be able to do? Because I'm telling you, you're going to forget me. You're going to forget your sponsor. And even when you don't want to do it, you're going to do it. So that shows me nothing can work. If you've had relapses and you've gone in treatment or you've done things and placed things and you're relapsing again after a period of time which shows you don't want to do it, your life's changed, it shows you your methods are not working, man. I came to that conclusion. Look back in your life. Has this happened to you? And if it has happened to you, try and be as honest as that. Can you do something about it? If you think so, go ahead, man. Like I said, you might not get back. So it continues and says on 45, lack of power, that was our dilemma. Lack of power. So sometimes I might have a bit of power. I might refuse the pipe. Not really, but I might, but I might raise a defense. I might say to myself, it's bad, and something interrupts me, or it may be lack of opportunity. I ain't got enough money and I really don't want to go and sell my body for another £10 short. It's not happening today. So I might raise a defense. But after that passes, 2 weeks, 2 hours, 3 months, 6 months, at a certain time again, I have the twist of my mind. And it is so cunning. Yeah? It can hit me so suddenly, just go and get it. It can be like a light switch, off and on. Get it, don't get it, get it, don't get it. People saying about that's the obsession. I'm going to refer to the book. The obsession is for me to beat it. I'm going to try things to put in place to beat this. You know what I'll do? I'll avoid the pub, I'll go round and I'll just go and use with Jane because Jane doesn't use all night. Do you know what happened to Jane? Oh, she stopped relapsing. Because she wasn't a relapser, yeah? And I say that, and I don't know if she might be later, but what is evident is that she can pick and choose when she wants to have cocaine. I haven't got that choice anymore. I don't choose, which seems really tricky because it's just like I wanted to do it. Did you really want to do it after your consequences are that bad? Yeah? So it says we had to find a power which was we could live by, and it had to be a power greater than ourselves. Obviously, but where and how were we to find that power? Well, that's exactly what this book is about. So when people are telling us do the 12 steps, you don't relapse, the book is there, the 12 steps is to get you connected to a greater power. Because if it's my power in the steps, I'm still thinking I've got power to beat it. And I don't. And that is really hard because all I want to do is stop smoking crack. But I had to see that this ain't gonna work out for me. The reading what I chose as well is full of something else, and it is full of the solution. Yeah? I don't know what God is. I'm going to say God, higher power, another power, whatever you want to call it. I was willing because I knew and I saw that my efforts and methods did not work. That's why I chose the another power. I was like, cool, I'm all right with that. And then I explored it. Yeah? So after you leave that problem now, in We Agnostics it says, drinking problem done, you can't do nothing about it, you can't prevent relapse, you're going to think you can, but we're going to dismantle that for you. Here you go. Yeah? We're going to look at life now. So everyone's sitting there plodding along, thinking everything's cool because they're in the meetings. Move on. Because you don't know when this shit's going to hit you, bruv. And that's what they used to do. They used to get through quite quickly, yeah? Because they knew, I don't know when this is going to hit me again, man. Best I try and get through this and just see if I can have this spiritual experience. So I look at, in my life, where I'm playing God and running the show. Yeah, within that is the principles that we live by. So here's this, it's personal. You're not gonna know if you're dishonest. Yeah, it's up to you if you want to disclose it, and it's up to you how deep you want to go with it. But trust me, if you think you've got that luxury, I'm seeing people right now, someone that I know and I used to sponsor, had 2 years thinking they can get away with this shit. They can't stay stopped now. And do you know what that means for your son? Possibility he's burying the mum. It's not a choice for me in the sense of the recovery or the solution. It's not a choice for me that I be honest. It's not a choice for me that when I'm dishonest that I go to a sponsor and I say, look man, this is what happens. It's not a choice for me that I go away and clear the wreckage of my past. It is life or death for me. That's why I have to do it, man. Yeah, I have to maintain this. Yeah, so how far do you want to go? Do you want to be here for 3 years or do you want permanent? I'm not looking for a 3-year or a 10-year sobriety, man. I don't want the shit anymore. Yeah? It's not about me dying or being in the crack den. I don't want my mum to get a phone call from James going, she's gone. Yeah? That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't want to be out in Birmingham trying to go around the back of a freaking car park scoring again for a £10 shot, doing whatever I've got to do for £10. I'm not going through that humiliation again. And I know that there's nothing I can do, but there is something I can do in the sense of the solution. There is something I can do by living by spiritual principles. There is something I can do about, do I want to help this other addict? So everyone asks, wherever you are in that, if you're plodding along and thinking you got time, cool man, maybe you will. You might even come back a bit cocky and be like, and go, I've got 2 years now. Cool. But what I know, I ain't missing this. I'm not missing the day out that we had today. Yeah? I'm not missing that. I ain't missing that was crying the other week, not knowing if she was going to make it. And knowing that she's going to sit tomorrow with a bunch of women at my flat and hopefully get a bit deeper with this. I ain't missing that. I'm not missing the sponsee that I know ain't got their kids now but still turns up in the pouring rain putting a poster up. Because she might not have her kids, but she might be able to share something that they get their kids back. I ain't missing seeing a young girl come in here. Yeah? I'm not missing them. That is something that nothing can give me, man. Nothing out there can. Yeah, this is special, man. This is not just a meeting, trust me, man. Yeah, this is special. And that's why I get passionate. I'm even probably going to cry or something. Yeah? I don't know too much about God, bro, yeah? What I do know right now, I've seen God. I felt God. First time I felt God was in the CA meeting in Worcester. I was broken, I was skinny, I was wearing a baseball cap, yeah? I saw a guy walking, quite broad, with some socks on and that, yeah? That, yeah? Love the socks, bro. But that person, yeah, showed me, these guys don't even know what they did for me, yeah? I did not like guys. I hated guys, bro. I had to walk out of meetings because I'm smelling aftershave and I'm shaking. Right now, yeah, I've built relationships with guys again, bruv. I can sit down and know that, do you know what, it's okay, bruv. I can sit in a room with you, fully well knowing you might have done some shit out there in your sprees and that to female. But I'm okay with you, man. I'm not there hanging myself because of the trauma and that. And I've seen that. People get in recovery like women. And they're dead now. Suicide. I work in that field. I am free. Saved my life. In turn, the expansion, like my mum today asks about Cocaine Anonymous. She's like, she don't even ask how I am anymore. She's just like, how's James? How's this person? Yeah? Oh, that's going on things. Sorry, James, breaking out anonymity. But, you know, I got to go back to an area where, I was told I can't go back to. I'm going back there because I've got to be there for my family. Do I get fearful? Yes. I write inventory. Yeah, I pray and I meditate. These are the tools in recovery that we use. I read this book. And I try my efforts to be part of the community again and give back. Do you know what? We've taken so much from this freaking world because everyone's still about what can I have? What do I need? What can I get? It's like, what have you given, man? My sponsor said that to me. The first sponsor I had, she said, what have you given to life? She's like, I just want some freedom. I just want my nightmares to stop. She's like, what have you given? And I had to do that by volunteering, sitting in drug and alcohol service, like, working in B&M. Home Bargains was it? Home Bargains. Oh, man. So yeah, like I opened this up and that, I hope that most of you are here in 6 months. I really do. I guarantee if I'm still here in the year, there'll be a few that have popped back in, back out a few times. I ain't going to tell you just to go off and get a sponsor. I ain't going to say that. I would say to you is that do look at the people that are recovered and go and have a conversation with them. Yeah? They might be able to help you. They might be able to point you in the direction to have the same freedom that some of us in this room have. Yeah? This isn't just about turning up here and thinking you're going to grab something, put it in your pocket, go off, have a great day, and there's a twist there and be able to take out God and put it in front of the real lives. Ain't going to fucking work, man. Yeah? You can take our biscuits, you can take the tea and coffee all day long. I'm all right with that, bruv. But trust me, I am going to put it on you and say to you, do you know what? Are you in? Are you here? Do you want to have a conversation around this stuff? Don't be scared to talk about the relapses, bro. Yeah, because everyone's petrified in that. I'm going to be okay and sit here and just listen to all of this. Are you relapsing? Have you got a defense against the first drink or drug? If your answer is yes to the relapsing and you don't have a defense, yeah, you might need this. It's your only hope. Yeah? And if you think you've got time, cool. But trust me, I don't. Yeah? And that should point you, when you get through that illusion breaks for you, the recovery part, you will know how far you need to go in it. Because I see it all the time. They get a bit of recovery and it's just like, my life's better, see you later. Can't happen for me. My spiritual experience is that I sit here when the meeting's only 4 people, when the meeting's only 2 people, when it's pissing down with rain, I still get here, I travel on the bus, I don't even drive, and I'm still here on time. I'm committed to the service because this gets people here. Potentially, they don't die. So you can sit on the outskirts, see how that goes for you. We are really nice, really. Because right now you're probably thinking, Halloween and all of that as well. But, I'm just like, she'll protect me. And if you want to blame the Halloween thing, you can. If you don't want to come back, blame that. I hope something's resonated. Look, man, the twist is something you've acquired you can't get rid of. You're not going to be able to work it out. Yeah, your methods are going to seem like they're working because you're going to have a bit of recovery and you're going to feel a little bit better. Yeah, but at a certain time, your twist is going to happen again. You may raise a defence, but inevitably it caves in. And your defences are your memory, your sound reasoning, and your willpower. If that's happening to you, only spiritual experience will conquer it. That is it. That is it. It is in a nutshell in that. I hope someone fucking gets freedom from this. And if you're really scared in that, and if you are recovered or you're going through the process and you don't like me now, put it in a resentment, write in 4 columns, that works out. Pray and meditate. Hand it over. I don't like Javina. Cool, man. I'm all right with that, yeah? You know, I'm okay. You know, I'm still going to be here, so you better get used to it, innit? So yeah, you know, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this fellowship. I'm passionate about that big book. Yeah, I read it, I study it, I ask questions and that. You know, I've got amazing friends. I've got a host of friends and that. I've got people that I'm building and starting relationships with. The main important thing is that I'm in a position of neutrality. Something's happened to me. You know, my family are free today. And that there's a woman, possibly, that I'm going to be able to sit with mental inconsistency and say there's a way out. That is it. I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Simon. I'm a recovered addict.